turn those lights on and it. That's literally what I did. Those were the last three, because I was like, because I pushed all these, I've turned all these, so I feel so gorgeous now. I don't know if you could like, yeah. It was because like I was turning the corner and I grabbed like the doorway like that on my turn, and I just completely lost grip and I had all. Oh yeah, I'm not gonna lie. You literally tell me if it's like.
Speaking, I am speaking. Welcome viewers and homecoming Saturday. First games for basketball. Women just won their game versus York 78-56, but now we transition over to the men's game. And what a game it will be. As I've stated earlier, it will be the first game for the men's in the Lone Star Conference, and we are super excited for the new additions, the new transfers that we have this year. For once, we have Will Linhart back, who broke the Seagull season rebounding record last year and was a co-defensive player of the year, so he will play a vital part on this year's team. We also have Dadrian Palmer, who is a transfer from USAO, an All-American, and last year averaged 15 points per game, 8 rebounds, and had 9 double-doubles. So that is a big piece that we just gained over the summer. And now we also have the sharpshooting point guard Jonathan Raines, who played D1 last year and didn't really get much time, having a top score of 9 points, but is looking to rejuvenate himself on the Eagles this year, and it will be great to have. Now that we've established the people to watch for this game, our expectations for this season. Last year we was a 500 team. We won the games we needed to win, but lost the games we could have won. So maybe we can just make it into consistent winning this year. And we are all hoping that happens, but now we get a sneak peek of what it will be for this season. Now we toss it to Zach and Danny courtside at the game.
Thanks, Elijah. We're here at the Eagles Nest. We have a great game between York College and Oklahoma Christian Eagles. My name's Zach. This is Danny. Danny, what do you want to see the Eagles do here tonight against York College?
Well, again, I think one of the best things for the Eagles to get started right is to show a great defensive effort. If you can shut them down on the defensive end, create those turnovers, and get into a quick transition on offense, and get out ahead early. Get out ahead early and defend against them coming back on you.
Well, you talk about defensive stops. The best player in this conference is Will Linhart. He broke the record in rebounds last year in the Heartland Conference, and it's an OC record here as well, and he came back for a 5th year. How would you like to see him take advantage here in this game?
Oh, absolutely. Want to see his dominance and just make the Panthers adjust their shots when they get inside or even on the outside. Having that ability to block has got to be intimidating, and so if he can get loose this afternoon, it'll be fun to see him swat some away.
Well, we don't have Jordan Box as he graduated last semester. He was Oklahoma Christian's best scorer. Who needs to step up and become the scorer here for Oklahoma Christian this season?
Well, I think you can divide that among the starters at the guard position. But what I'm looking for a lot is, again, coming off the bench, people like DJ Walter or maybe even York Benjamin. I'd like to see York set himself up and be intimidating as well. Hopefully he won't get in foul trouble as quickly as he was doing that last year, but I think the guards are going to have to share the opportunity to fill in for Jordan Box.
Well, we also have a brand new coach, Ken Ray Talley, used to be a former player here at Oklahoma Christian. The players really love Coach Talley. They had a great connection with him last year when he was an assistant. What do you want to see from the players to play for, or how they want to play for Talley this year?
Have them to react as quickly as they can to whatever Coach Talley tells them to do. I think that cohesiveness that Coach Talley has with this team this year is going to go a long way, but I'm sure that they respect him and they're looking forward to doing what he tells them to do and get in the right position.
Well, it is homecoming here. It is the very first game for Oklahoma Christian. York has already played 4 games. They're 3-1. Very tall defensively and offensively. How would you want to see Oklahoma Christian stack up?
Well, what I want to see them to do is establish that guard play early and have them come out and defend them in the perimeter and open it up for someone like Will Linhart or York Benjamin and see if they can get inside and get some quick points that way. But you're right, the height that York brings to the game is going to be a difficult challenge for the Eagles this afternoon.
Well, we're going to go to break and we'll come back with the starting lineup and opening tip-off right after this.
My name's Christopher Sarton. I work at the Museum of the Bible as an AR/VR technician. I use game development software to help program applications for the Museum of the Bible. I graduated from Oklahoma Christian University as a computer science with gaming animation major because I wanted to share my joy of gaming with people. I really enjoyed playing games ever since I was a kid, and I thought it would be a good and interesting way to share my passions with people. There are three things that made me choose OC: my faith, the location, and the degree. I wanted to choose a college that really provided me an outlet to my faith and to grow. And there's not a lot of schools that have that kind of thing, and Oklahoma Christian was one that was pretty close by. The relationships you form and the things that you learn from your friends are really a large part of growing up as a human, and I think that's probably one of the biggest things I learned while at OC. A lot of the faculty were super cool. Professor Harbert's awesome. Chip Cooey, theology department, super cool. Jennifer Bryan is super awesome. She said at the beginning of class, "What do you want to be called?" And I was like, "Anything?" And she goes, "Yeah." And I was like, "Oh, Captain America." And she goes, "I'm not calling you Captain America." At the end of my time at OC, she actually gave me a coaster that had Captain America stuff on it. Software is always changing. Coding is always changing. New languages come out. The teachers really taught us how to think, how to look things up, and how to critically act on those things that we've learned. And all of that stuff is super useful. It teaches us how to think, how to explore, and how to use what we've learned to make amazing products. My favorite and most interesting things, the things I'm really excited about, are the experimental stuff I get to do. Currently, there's a lot of technology at the Museum of the Bible, but part of my job is getting to explore and develop in technologies we don't even have yet. Anything that lets me breach the realm of possibility and go wherever I want to help develop things that'll make the museum popular, make it interesting, or even help it flourish. That's the stuff that really, I don't know, makes me pretty happy.
My name is Michael Mitchell, and I'm Director of Development here at Water 4, and our mission is to eradicate the water crisis.
I'm Kristen Van Dyke. I work at Ernst & Young, UI now, which is a public accounting firm.
I'm Matt Cole with an accounting firm here in Oklahoma City, so I'm a partner in the accounting services and consulting assurance side.
My name is Jennifer Ray, and I'm the Chief Financial Officer here at Oklahoma Christian University. So that means budgeting, financial planning, forecasting, accounting. I went into accounting primarily so that I could move anywhere in the country that my family needed to go, and I would be able to find a job there. It was about flexibility and open doors. There's always something that can be improved upon or looked at in a new way to try to make a difference.
The goal of getting a college education is to launch a career, right? So it's allowed me to have what I think is a successful career that supported my family, provided us a good living. that's helped me give back to my community.
One interesting thing about accounting, when people find out that I'm an accountant, they either say, wow, you must love math, or, oh, I bet you're super busy in April. And neither one of those things are true. I don't really do much math at all. If I do, it's addition and subtraction or multiplication and division. I'm not really busy during tax season. There's a lot to do in accounting besides tax and auditing.
So I lead the fundraising team here for the organization, trying to fund all of the water work we're doing all over the world. There's nothing we do here at Water 4 that accounting doesn't touch, and we wouldn't be able to do what we do as well as we do without accounting. And it is the language of business, so we work with entrepreneurs in 14 different countries, and not all of them speak English, but accounting is this universal language that we all speak and we all share, and so it gives us the ability to be on the same page about very, very important things in our work, which is trying to get people safe water.
Features the visiting Panthers of York College and your Eagles of Oklahoma Christian. At this time, we invite everyone to please stand. Men, kindly remove your caps as we are led in a word of prayer by the president of Oklahoma Christian University, John DeSteiger. Following that prayer, we'll be led in the national anthem by our very own Sweat Band, and the colors will be presented by the Army ROTC Eagle Company, UCO Bronco Battalion, including OC student Courtney Wallace.
Let's pray. God, thank you for this glorious day. Thank you for this opportunity to gather together. Father, thank you for competition. We ask that you bless all of the student athletes on the court today, keep them safe, help the level of competition be a great one. God, we ask your blessings on York College, and we ask your blessings on Oklahoma Christian. Above all, thank you for your son. In his name we pray. Amen.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the floor the visiting lineup of the Panthers of York College. Starting at guard, a 6'1" senior from Apopka, Florida, wearing number 0, Michael Tolbert. Starting at guard, a 5'11" junior from Muskogee, Oklahoma, wearing number 3, Tyrese Berry. Starting at guard, a 6'2" junior from Bellevue, Nebraska, wearing number 4, Eric Lanier. Starting at forward, a 6'5" senior from Brock, Texas, wearing number 11, Lance Ewell. And starting at forward, a 6'4" senior from Pembroke, New Hampshire, wearing number 23, Kafani Williams. The head coach of the Panthers, Tree Burks, assisted by Corey Slaughter, Jeremiah Ahart. And now, ladies and gentlemen, on your feet, it's time to make some noise for the starting lineup of your Eagles of Oklahoma Christian. Starting to forward, a 6'6" senior from Oklahoma City, wearing number 5, Deidrean Parmer. Starting to guard, 5'11" junior from San Antonio, Texas, wearing number 11, Jonathan Reyes Valdez. Starting to guard, a 6'2" senior from Mustang, Oklahoma, wearing number 15, Aubrey Johnson. And starting to forward, a 6'8" senior from Oklahoma City, the Division II leading rebounder, number 25, Will Lindhart. And starting to forward, a 6'5" senior from Bridgeport, Connecticut, number 30, Marcus Blackwell. The head coach of your Eagles, Mr. Kendra Talley. Assistant coaches, Luis Lopez, Gary Jones, and special assistant to the head coach, Mr. Dan Hayes. It's time for some basketball. Who's ready? It's Oklahoma Christian basketball. Walking foul called for. Foul called on number 11, Lance York, his first. Team first foul. Foul sends Parmer to the line. It's foul time.
Up the floor for Oklahoma Christians. Parmer drove in, generated a blocking foul on his shot. Parmer's a big person here for Oklahoma Christian. He's a transfer to the University of USAO from the NAIA division. Third team All-American, averaged about 16.5 points per game.
Well, he's one of those stud players you want to have come in to help you get things started, especially in this new conference, the Lone Star Conference. And USAO, always a good program, and sinks both of the free throws, put the Eagles on top.
As Oklahoma Christian finished 11-18 last season, making it to the semifinals in the Heartland Conference, losing to Dallas Baptist University. As number 4 for Lanier has the ball, passes it down inside to number 23 Williams, who lays it up, and the ball goes out of bounds. Looks like it's going to be an offensive foul on number 11, Noel, for York. As Oklahoma Christian has the ball, Aubrey Johnson now has it. Brings it up the center part of the floor for Oklahoma Christian. Aubrey Johnson, besides Palmer, is OC's top scorer from last year, returning, as he gives it to Marcus Blackwell. Down to Lenhard. Back to Blackwell at the top of the arc, moves over to the left wing. Starts to drive down, lobs it down inside to Parmer, loses control of it, regains possession. Nice pivot step and lays it up and in.
Nice move by Parmer. He thought he could go up the right side, stopped and just pivoted to the left and kissed it off the glass. he's got all the points so far here, 4-0 in favor of the Eagles.
Danny, who stands out to you for Oklahoma Christian to make improvement this year?
I like Johnson. I think that he's done a good job, and it seems to be more assertive at the guard position, and that will bode well for the Eagles down the road.
As number 23, Williams, puts up a jumper from the free throw line. No good. Rebounded by Linhart as Reyes Valdez, another transfer for Oklahoma Christian, coming from a D1 school. Has the ball, gives it to Johnson, who puts up a three and does not hit anything as it goes out of bounds. As number 3, Barry has the ball now, drives up. Reyes Valdez guarding very closely. Now to Tolbert at the right wing. Tolbert starts to drive in, passes it back out to Ewell, who puts up the jumper from behind the arc. No good. Rebounded by no one else but Will Linhart.
And Williams picks up his second foul quickly here with 17:58 to go. He's going to have to take an early seat on the bench.
As Aubrey Johnson looks to inbound the ball, it looks like York is going to put a full court press on Oklahoma Christian as the ball is then deflected away and stolen. As on the other end, number 0, Tolbert, with a nice step, lays it up and in and gives them their first points of the game.
York generated that with the turnover.
As Blackwell has it, gives it to Johnson. Johnson slows it down for Oklahoma Christian at the top of the Eagle. Gives it to Valdez. Now to Blackwell. Blackwell starts to drive in, gets a screen from Linhart. Passes it out to Palmer. Now to Reyes Valdez, who can put up threes from behind the arc. Did not get a lot of playing time at his D1 school, but now has a lot of playing time, and he shows what he can do.
Squared up nicely and drained the three from the left wing.
As there is then an offensive foul, and it looks like it is on number 1, is what they're saying, Barnes. And that is going to be his first.
So quickly, York has 4 team fouls on him here, and barely 3 minutes have ticked off here in the first half.
As Blackwell now has it, starts to bring the ball up the floor for Oklahoma Christian. At the C part, at mid-floor. Now to Johnson. Johnson wants to put up a three, instead gives it to Reyes Valdez. Drives in along the baseline, passes it out. Nice feed to Palmer for 3 at the top of the arc. Good! 2 of 2 from behind the arc for Oklahoma Christian, causing York to call a timeout. It looks like it's going to be a 30-second timeout, so we're just going to stay here.
Zach, what it looks like to me right now is that the offense for Oklahoma Christian, they're doing an excellent job of just moving the ball around. And Reyes Valdez spotted up here on the left wing, drained it, and then on the other side, Palmer himself, after moving the ball around, sets up nicely there on the right wing and has no problem putting it through the hole.
As both transfer students for Oklahoma Christian in their first game for OC, showing the confidence in themselves and showing that they can play.
And, of course, York is wanting to come out and be aggressive. They want to assert themselves and try to keep things in perspective as far as where the lead is, but so far that hasn't worked. They trail by 8, 10-2.
As York now has the ball, Barry, has it, passes it to Ewell. Number 4, Lanier now. Now to Ewell at the left wing, drives in, gets a little bit of a screen from Barnes. His shot on the pull-up jumper is good. And they now have 4 points. As Reyes Valdez works against Barry.
And on this possession, York is showing the full court pressure.
Reyes Valdez wants to put up a shot, and the ball is deflected. And it looks like it goes off of Reyes Valdez and out of bounds and will be York ball. As York already starting with quick substitutions here in this first half, as OC has yet to make 1 sub.
Victor Lewis coming in for the Panthers here in the early going.
As Tolbert gives it to Ewell, who then gives it to number 23, Williams. Back to Tolbert. Tolbert for 3. In and out of the basket, rebounded by Palmer. Now Reyes Valdez has the ball to Johnson. Quick passes for OC down to Linhart. Linhart then passes it to Palmer. Puts it up. A shot. They're going to say a travel, it looks like, on Palmer.
Yeah, it looks like he shuffled his feet just a little bit, Zach. Wasn't firmly set. And had a lot of defenders around him. Couldn't get the shot to go down after the traveling foul.
And with that is our first media timeout, so we are going to step away, and we'll be right back right after this.
Sorry, I got my tongue tangled.
By 6 with 15:26 left. York has the ball as Barry moves over from the left wing to the right wing. Gives it to Tolbert. Tolbert drives in, wants to put up a shot, instead passes it to number 21, Lewis, who lays it up and in. Oh, excuse me, it ended up going to number 21, Lewis, as Aubrey Johnson gives it to Reyes Valdez, now to Palmer. Back to Johnson. Johnson moves back, resets the play, gets a little bit of a screen from Palmer to Blackwell. Blackwell drives in, puts up the jumper on the fade, actually. No good, rebounded by Linhart. Linhart lays it up and in and is going to the line to try to convert a three-point play for Oklahoma Christian.
And that's just the perfect way to utilize the talent and the size of Will Linhart, is just get it down to him in the blocks and let him work his magic underneath, because more times than not he's going to draw the foul when he puts up the shot.
Well, Will Linhart already starting where he left off from last season, already has 3 rebounds now with that one, and he makes the attempt at the free throw line and converts the three-point play for Oklahoma Christian.
York Benjamin now into the game for the Eagles. Let's see how the big guy does out of Mustang.
As Barry drives up the floor, moves over, back to the top of the arc, gets a screen from number 11, Ewell, and then he puts up a jumper, no good, rebounded by OC. Number 1, Anthony Johnson checks into the game for Oklahoma Christian. He gets a screen from York. Johnson with a nice bounce pass to York. York loses control of the ball. It looks like he was wanting a foul on that. And instead is then stolen away by Johnson at the other end. Johnson on the fast break to Valdez. Up to York. York goes for a dunk and is called for the charge.
Not that he doesn't have the ability to almost spring from anywhere inside the lane, but I think he launched just a little bit too early once he got past the free throw line, and there just wasn't much room for him. Of course, with the defender there, he couldn't get too close to the basket, and he's whistled for the charging foul as well.
Good play set up by Oklahoma Christian. And if it was me, I probably would have passed it back to Reyes Valdez to try to get just the easy layup instead of going for the fancy dunk there. As Lanier now has it, gives it to Barry. Barry at the top of the arc. Hands it off to number 21, Lewis. Puts up the shot from behind the arc. No good, rebounded by Blackwell. Now to Reyes Valdez, who brings it up, slows it down for OC, lobs it down to York, and is then a foul called, and looks like it's going to be a blocking foul on number 1, Deontay Barnes.
If that's the case, he's picked up his second foul. So already, Zach, 2 of the players for York have 2 fouls on them. So they've got to be careful.
As Reyes Valdez now checks out of the ball game for Oklahoma Christian, as it looks like number 23, DJ Walter, will replace him. As Anthony Johnson looks to inbound the ball down at OC's own baseline. gives it to Walters. Now to Palmer, hands it back to Blackwell. Walter at the right wing passes it down to York. York drives along the baseline, loses control of the ball. The second time he's lost control of it, and it will be a turnover. And York is coming up limping a little bit on his left foot.
That's the fourth turnover on the Eagles here in the first half, with York only having 2.
As number 4, Lanier has it. Gives it to Lois. Lois with the jumper. No good. Rebounded by number 22, Fox, who then gives it to Lanier, who drives in, loses control of it, was wanting a foul. Instead, it is going to be a turnover as the ball goes out of bounds and be OC basketball.
One thing that's impressive really for both teams, Zach, is just the quickness. I mean, all the players on the court are just as quick as a rabbit, and they're able to get their hands in there and tip the ball away when they're on the defensive end and getting up and down the court quickly. It's a sight to behold.
York playing very tight coverage, almost knocking some of the players over for OC as DJ Walters puts up a shot. It looked like it was behind the arc, but his foot was on the line, the refs say. He's down at the other end. Burns puts up a 3 from the left wing. No good. OC now has the ball as Anthony Johnson wants a screen, gives it to Palmer instead. Now to DJ Walter at the right wing, gives it to Blackwell. Back to Johnson. Johnson lobs it down inside the paint to Palmer, Back out to Johnson for 3. No good. Rebounded by Walter. Walter hands it back to Palmer, who resets for Oklahoma Christian. As Walter, 13 seconds left on the shot clock. We're almost halfway through the first half here. As Palmer drives in, gets the ball knocked out of his hands. OC got to be very cautious here with the shot clock as there's 3 seconds left.
Good drive by Palmer, and just as he was getting close to making a shot, ball got tipped away by the York defender.
As Blackwell now checks out for Aubrey Johnson, who is a quick release shooter. As straight to Walter. Walter's for 2, no good. Rebounded by Lois. Lois on the fast break to number 11, Ewald, who lays it up on the right side and cuts the deficit to 7.
Eagles didn't get back quick enough to give him any kind of a contest to get to the basket, and he got in pretty easily.
Aubrey Johnson now has it, gives it to Palmer, to Walters. Down inside to York. York works against Ewald, lays it up along the left side, banks it in. OC back up by 9.
That's where York Benjamin, I think, is using his strength. Gets in and gets in front of the defender, gets the entry pass, and is able to just turn around and lay it off the glass.
Burns gives it to Fox. Fox at the top of the arc. Now to Williams. Or to Lewis, Lewis drives in from the top of the arc. Nice hand shift there, laying up on the right side instead of the left, and getting the deficit back to 7. As Johnson loses control, trying to be fancy with his dribble there. And it is then stolen away by number 24, Burns, who lays it up. No good, but rebounded by Fox. And gets the second chance opportunity to go.
You know, I was making a mental note here, Zach, after that missed dunk by Benjamin. You got to watch out how that can affect the opponent. It may have given them just a little bit of a spark because they're on a roll right now.
As there is then a travel, and it looks like it is on Anthony Johnson. So it will be York ball, and we now have our second media timeout, so we will step away and be right back right after this.
My name is Michael Mitchell, and I'm Director of Development here at Water 4, and our mission is to eradicate the water crisis.
I'm Kristen Van Dyke. I work at Ernst & Young, EY now, which is a public accounting firm.
I'm Matt Cole with an accounting firm here in Oklahoma City, so I'm a partner in the accounting services and consulting assurance side.
My name is Jennifer Ray, and I'm the Chief Financial Officer here at Oklahoma Christian University. So that means budgeting, financial planning, forecasting, accounting. I went into accounting primarily so that I could move anywhere in the country that my family needed to go, and I would be able to find a job there. It was about flexibility and open doors. There's always something that can be improved upon or looked at in a new way to try to make a difference.
The goal of getting a college education is to launch a career, right? So it's allowed me to have what I think is a successful career that's supported my family, provided us a good living, that's helped me give back to my community.
One interesting thing about accounting, when people find out that I'm an accountant, they either say, wow, you must love math, or oh, I bet you're super busy in April. And neither one of those things are true. I don't really do much math at all. If I do, it's addition and subtraction or multiplication and division. I'm not really busy during tax season. There's a lot to do in accounting besides tax and auditing.
So I lead the fundraising team here for the organization, trying to fund all of the water work we're doing all over the world. There's nothing we do here at Water For that accounting doesn't touch, and we wouldn't be able to do what we
by 5. OC has the ball as Reyes Valdez has it at the top of the arc. Gives it to number 5 Palmer, down to Walter. Walters almost turns it over and does. It was stolen away by Tolbert. Tolbert on the fast break gives it to Lewis, who lays it up and is fouled and has a chance to convert a 3-point play for York. As that is Lewis's 4th point on the night, has a chance to make it 5. As the deficit at one point was 9 points for Oklahoma Christian and is now just dwindling down to a 1-possession game. As Lewis makes his attempt at the free throw line. Aubrey Johnson brings it across the floor. Gives it to Palmer. Now to Blackwell. Blackwell drives in. Nice pivot step, puts up the shot. They're going to say a foul on the floor before the shot. And it is on Lewis. And that is Lewis's 2nd foul here in this first half of play.
Zach, coming out of that timeout, I want to point this out. The Eagles have committed 9 turnovers, so only 5 for York, and that's what's enabled them to get back into this game with the Eagles now only leading by 2.
As that foul, though, by Lewis does put Oklahoma Christian in the bonus for a 1-and-1 opportunity as Blackwell makes the first one. He now has his first point on the evening and has another attempt at the free throw line.
That's the 3rd player for York that now has 2 fouls here in the first half.
As Blackwell makes both, OC is a very good free throw shooting team. As number 3, Barry has it, works against Reyes Valdez. Barry runs into his own player, gives the ball to Tolbert, and there is then a foul, an offensive foul called on number 22, Fox, and it will be OC basketball.
One thing York is trying to do is to be as physical as they can, especially to our guards out on the perimeter whenever they try to make a run into the paint and get it inside to dish it off to either Lenhart or Benjamin, and that's where they're picking up their fouls.
As Reyes Valdez gives it to Johnson. Now Blackwell has it, passes it down to Lenhart, to Aubrey Johnson for a wide open 3, no good. But rebounded by OC. It's Blackwell. Blackwell now to Walters. Walters back to Johnson. Johnson, nice handoff, but instead is almost stolen away, but goes straight to Walters, who overshoots on the shot in the corner. And then there's a blocking foul called on Oklahoma Christian's Reyes Valdez. That is going to be his first foul of the night.
But only the 2nd team foul on the Eagles, and we're less than halfway through the first half.
Instant pass in to Fox. Now to Barry. Barry then gives it to Tolbert. Tolbert drives along the baseline, wants to lay it up, is then tipped, and it goes out of bounds. I'm going to say last touch by York. And it will be OC basketball. Aubrey Johnson now brings it up on the right side of the floor. OC needs to settle it down as they have not converted very well here in the last 5 minutes of this game. To Blackwell in the right corner. Starts to move up to the right wing, gets a screen from Lenhart. Nice pivot spin move there by Blackwell, causing the foul. And he will go to the line yet again.
So with that's his second foul on Fox. He is the fourth Panther here in the first half that has 2 fouls.
So Oklahoma Christian's doing very well on getting York into foul trouble.
Well, York is they're being very aggressive on the defense. Whoever gets the ball, they're almost belly button to belly button, whoever has it.
As one more foul will automatically make it a double-double, or the double bonus for Oklahoma Christian. So any foul after that, they will be shooting 2 from the free throw line. As Blackwell made the first one, Fox now checks out of the ballgame for number 24, Burns. It's Blackwell's second attempt. No good. Rebounded by Ewell. Now to Barry. Barry works against Reyes Valdez. Bounce pass to Tolbert at the right wing. Pump fake, gets Johnson to jump. Johnson quickly to get back down on defense. Back to Barry. Barry gets a screen from Burns, drives in, puts up the jumper. Gets a nice bounce to go his way. Oklahoma Christian just back up by 3.
That was Barry's first bucket for the game here in the first half.
Aubrey Johnson has it, gives it to Blackwell. 7:49 left here in the first half. To Reyes Valdez at the right wing. Valdez with a nice bounce pass. Passes it back out, tipped and stolen away. Barry lays it up, makes it a 1-point game now with 7:34 left.
Full court pressure by the Eagles, but one thing they've got to do, they have to take care of the ball on the offensive end and not let them tip it away so quickly.
After the first 5 or 6 minutes of the opening tip, it's been York basketball basically throughout the rest of this game as Oklahoma Christian's forcing way too many turnovers. And it looks like they are going to say immediate timeout. So we are going to step away as OC leads 20-19 with 7:13 left here in the first half. Welcome back to the Eagles Nest. Oklahoma Christian leads by 1 with 7:10 left here in the game. Barry has the ball for York. Drives in, puts up a nice jumper, and York has their first lead of the evening.
And Barry has scored the last 6 points for the Panthers. Full court pressure now by York.
As Reyes Valdez has yet to sub out for Oklahoma Christian. Still out there. Gives it to Blackwell. Now to Johnson. Aubrey Johnson has it at the top of the arc, gives it to Walters. Walters wants to pass it down to York. Instead, gives it to Valdez. 9 seconds on the shot clock. 5 seconds. Reyes Valdez drives in, pumps it back out. To Aubrey Johnson for 3.
Boy, they milked the clock as long as they could on that possession, and a nice three-pointer by Johnson.
As Ewell has it. Now to Barry. Barry at the top of the arc puts up a 3 of his own, and he counters. An exchange of 3-point baskets for each team here.
That's 9 points for Barry, and all of that coming within the last 2 to 3 minutes.
As As Blackwell passes it down to York. York tries to drive in. Puts up the shot along the right side of the glass. Does not get it to fall. But it is a foul on Ewell. And that is his second foul now.
So that's 5 players from York have 2 fouls here in the first half.
As York Benjamin gets ready to shoot his first attempt at the free throw line. And he misses the first attempt after it goes off the back part of the rim.
And York probably is one of the better free throw shooters on the team.
As York so far has been very good about disciplining himself. Only has 1 foul as we get close to the first half marker as that ball rolls in and out. And OC still trails by 1.
York was 77% from the free throw line during the 2018-19 season.
As Barry has it at the top of the arc, drives in, passes it out to number 5, Hoskin. Hoskin then gives it to Tolbert. Tolbert for a 3 of his own. He knocks that one down. OC now down by 4.
Keep in mind, York has already played 4 games this season. In fact, their first game came on October the 19th, which is only 4 days after OC began preseason practice.
As Reyes Valdez has it at the top of the arc, gives it to Blackwell, now to York. Now to Palmer. Quick passes, can't get down inside. 5 seconds left again on the shot clock. Reyes Valdez drives in, and they're going to say a foul on the floor will reset the shot clock to 20 seconds for Oklahoma Christian.
Barry certainly is a quick player. As a matter of fact, he's out of Muskogee, Oklahoma, transferring in from Independence Community College. And he's really taken this game by the hand and brought York back and also put them in front.
As that foul puts OC in the double bonus. As Reyes Valdez makes the first attempt at the free throw line. As Valdez puts up a second, knocks that one down. Reyes Valdez now has 8 points on the evening for Oklahoma Christian. Or excuse me, 5 points. As number 5, again, Hoskin, another 3-point attempt. Gets that to fall.
Zach, they're catching fire from the 3-point shots right now here in the late going of the first half.
As York drives along the baseline, loses control of the ball and is stolen away as it goes to Hoskin. Hoskin on the fast break, gives it to Tolbert. Tolbert wants to put up a 3 and does. And he gets that to go. 4 consecutive 3-pointers for York.
2 of them by Tolbert.
As number 5, Hoskins, looks like he's doing a little trash talk over here. Surprised the refs haven't noticed that one yet. As Blackwell gives it to number 34, York. York drives in, puts it up off the glass. No good. Rebounded by Burns. On the fast break, Barry drives in, spin move, lays it up, gets that to fall. Quick turn of events for York over Oklahoma Christian as there is then a 30-second timeout. So we're going to stay right here with 3:53 left. And it looks like they're actually going to stretch it into a full and make it immediate timeout. So we will take a break and be right back right after this. Welcome back to the Eagle Sports Network. Oklahoma Christian was up at one point by 9 points, now trails by 10 with 3:53 remaining. It's been all York for the last 10 minutes.
I think one of the problems is that the Eagles are just having a hard time getting into transition because of tenacious defense by York.
As Aubrey Johnson puts up a three, gets that to fall. Maybe that's the spark OC needs.
Stop the bleeding with that shot.
As Barry gives it to Hoskin. Hoskin now gives it to Tolbert. Tolbert now to number 4, Lanier. To Barry. Now to Burns. Burns drives in, works against Leonard. And it looks like they're going to say a foul on the floor. And it looks like it is going to be on Will Linhard.
Actually, I thought he stepped on the baseline and shuffled his feet. It looked like it, but maybe that was the result of Will bumping him some and getting the...
And Reyes Valdez did not like that call from the ref. As number 24, Burns, gives it to Barry. As Barry puts up a three of his own. No good, rebounded by Will. Will Linhard gives it to Valdez. Now to Blackwell. Blackwell drives in, lays it up. He's fouled on the shot, does not get it to fall. But he will go to the free throw line. As Blackwell's already been to the line 3 times here in this game.
Well, what Oklahoma Christian needs to do, obviously, take advantage of these free throws, but they're going to have to step it up defensively and get those turnovers and then get back into their normal half-court transition of offense and move the ball around. They just had a hard time getting into any kind of momentum with their offense here in the late going.
As Marcus Blackwell continues his hot hand at the free throw line, is now 5 of 6, or 5 of 6 at the line. Blackwell's second attempt, good as well. OC cuts the deficit back to 5. 2:55 remaining here in this first half of play. Barry gives it to Lanier. Lanier starts to drive in, passes it out to a wide open number 5, Hoskin, who puts up a shot instead. No good, rebounded by Linhard. Now to Reyes Valdez. Fakes a pass, does not get it to go, gets his own rebound. Then Palmer gets it, now to Will. Will wide open, could have put up a 3, but he is not a 3-point shooter. As Reyes Valdez drives in, gives it to Blackwell. Blackwell with the step back, puts up the jumper, no good. Rebounded by Barry. Barry drives in, he lays it up, too strong, but rebounded by York. That shot from Lanier, no good, or number 5, excuse me, Hoskin, no good. Rebounded by Palmer. Out to Valdez. Now to Blackwell, back to Reyes Valdez, her 3, good! 2-point possession, or 2-point game now after that 3, and there is a timeout called by York. And they're just gonna say it's a 30-second timeout, so we're gonna stay right here as there's a minute 50 left here in this game. OC was down by 10, got it back to down by 2.
Reyes Valdez, you can tell he is a pure shooter because he was able to spot up nicely on the right wing, took advantage of an open shot, and just nailed the 3-pointer.
What have you liked seeing from OC so far, and what have you not liked to see?
Well, I do like the way that they do try to move the ball around, but again, they need to be more crisp with their passing, and they just got to get back on defense. There's been too many breakaways for York, and they've had some open shots and some easy shots underneath because the defense hasn't gotten back quickly enough.
So Oklahoma Christian cuts it back to 2. York will have the ball to resume action here with a minute 50 left. As we are back underway as Tolbert has the ball. Gives it to Lanier. Lanier now at the right wing. Drives in. Crowd starting to get into the game now for Oklahoma Christian as Lanier has it at the top of the arc. Puts up a 3 And he drains that shot from behind the arc.
I mean, he just felt it. There wasn't really a defender close by. He was open, decided what did he have to lose.
So Aubrey Johnson now gives it back to Reyes Valdez. Gets a screen from Palmer. Back to Johnson. Now to Blackwell. Blackwell at the right wing. Wants a screen. Gets one late. Almost could have gone for an illegal screen because it looked like Will Linhart was still moving there. On the handoff to Reyes Valdez. There's a little bit of a collision between Reyes Valdez and number 3 Barry, and it's going to result in a foul with 1:01 left here in this first half. And that is going to send Valdez to the line.
And I know I sound like a broken record, but now he is the 6th York player with 2 fouls, and it seems like they're all capping off right there at 2 fouls. Nobody's in foul trouble yet. Although 2 fouls this late in the second half, they've got to be careful going into the halftime.
As that shot from Reyes Valdez goes in and out, Reyes Valdez seems to be in a little bit of pain as he just showed it on his face. As we now have a delay, and it looks like they're going to have to meet someone come out and wipe up the sweat on the floor.
And just before they brought the towel out, he had taken a second shot. Jonathan Reyes Valdez, it went in, but they're not going to allow it, so he wasn't allowed to.
So now his second attempt also falls there for his third attempt technically. But OC down by 4, under a minute left in the first half. Lanier has it at the top of the arc. Gives it to Hoskin. Hoskin now to number 24 Burns. Burns for 3. Goes in and goes in and out of the basket. Rebounded by Palmer. Valdez on the fast break. Gives it to a wide open Johnson. Johnson drives in. Dish to Palmer. Nice shot on the left side of the glass. OC back within 2.
Nice look by Reyes Valdez to kick it out to Palmer, who then had a nice move underneath. On the left side, kissed it off the glass, and the Eagles now trail by 2.
Shot clock has been turned off, so York looks like they're going to try to have the last shot of the first half and go into halftime with the lead. Lanier gets a screen, drives in, lays it up. Nice deflection there. Another chance by Hoskin for 3 at the buzzer, no good. And with that, at the end of the first half, Oklahoma Christian trails by just 2, 38-36. When we come back, we will have Elijah Johnson in the studio with the halftime report. We'll be right back right after this.
Michael Mitchell, and I'm Director of Development here at Water 4, and our mission is to eradicate the water crisis.
I'm Kristen Van Dyke. I work at Ernst & Young, EY now, which is a public accounting firm.
I'm Matt Cole with an accounting firm here in Oklahoma City, so I'm a partner in the accounting services and consulting assurance side.
My name is Jennifer Ray, and I'm the Chief Financial Officer here at Oklahoma Christian University. So that means budgeting, financial planning, forecasting, accounting. I went into accounting primarily so that I could move anywhere in the country that my family needed to go, and I would be able to find a job there. It was about flexibility and open doors. There's always something that can be improved upon or looked at in a new way to try to make a difference
The goal of getting a college education is to launch a career, right? So it's allowed me to have what I think is a successful career that's supported my family, provided us a good living, that's helped me give back to my community.
One interesting thing about accounting, when people find out that I'm an accountant, they either say, wow, you must love math, or oh, I bet you're super busy in April. And neither one of those things are true. I don't really do much math at all. If I do, it's addition and subtraction or multiplication and division. I'm not really busy during tax season. There's a lot to do in accounting besides tax and auditing.
So I lead the fundraising team here for the organization, trying to fund all of the water work we're doing all over the world. There's nothing we do here at Water4 that accounting doesn't touch, and we wouldn't be able to do what we do as well as we do without accounting. And it is the language of business, so we work with entrepreneurs in 14 different countries, and not all of them speak English, but accounting is this universal language that we all speak and we all share, and so it gives us the ability to be on the same page about very, very important things in our work, which is trying to get people safe water.
Welcome back, viewers. This is the halftime report with me, Elijah Johnson. First game of the season, Oklahoma Christian versus York, and we have a close game. 36-38, York has the lead. In terms of stats, it's pretty close, you know. Oklahoma Christian's doing everything right. York is pretty much doing everything right, except one big fault for Oklahoma Christian: the turnovers. The turnovers are leading to 13 fast break points for York, and without that, we would have been leading 36-25. So either way, they have to figure out a way to tone it down. Learn to channel their intensity somewhere else, whether it's the small plays like keeping the ball in their hands, or, you know, the big plays, dunk on somebody, get some momentum. It seemed like in the end of the first half, York came alive from deep. And after that, you had the bench just sitting down, not doing anything, while York is over here going crazy. Now, on the positive side, other than turnovers, we're doing pretty much everything else right. We have our big names like Will Linhard and Dadrian Palmer Jr. just doing everything right. We have people coming off the bench with DJ coming in and giving us nice scoring. We have offensive rebounds, defensive rebounds, steals, blocks, whatnot. It's just the turnovers that keep killing us. The small plays can make a big impact in the basketball game, and right now we're losing the small battle. Now, the three-point line has been our savior, has been our killer. You can live by the three, die by the three. Right now, we are dying from the three. York is beating us with York is killing us from the field goal with the field goal percentage of 56%, while we're stuck at 47. But the free throws, York has only shot 1 and we shot 13. We're shooting 10 of 13, so that's really, really good. So we're just doing a lot of things well. But in terms of small, minor things, we just keep losing that battle. So in order to win this game, we have to keep doing the small, minor things and keep York from getting that momentum as they did at the end of the first half. I'm Elijah Johnson. Those are my thoughts, and we are going to a commercial break right after this.
me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham, bam, minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Hey, Kevin, you thinking about retirement?
I'd love to, but I'm pretty busy with all this.
Yeah. Hey, let's meet our retirement coach, Avo. A is for taking action.
Not anxiety?
No, Kevin, you're gonna be fine.
You sing?
Barely. V is for variety.
And you dance?
Sort of. Come on. O is for optimize your savings.
Let Avo lead the way.
Visit aceyourretirement.org today.
Nice.
Thanks.
Dora knows better than anyone. The best place to explore is the forest.
She knows this monkey? Of course, she knows this monkey.
Experience nature.
Let's go.
Connect with family.
I love you guys.
And find your own adventure in a forest or park near you.
Let's do this. Come on, Boots.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest or park near you.
Kevin, you thinking about retirement?
I'd love to, but I'm pretty busy with all this.
Yeah. Hey, let's meet our retirement coach, Avo. A is for taking action.
Not anxiety?
No, Kevin, you're gonna be fine.
You sing?
Barely. V is for variety.
And you dance?
Sort of. Come on. O is for optimize your savings.
Let Avo lead the way.
Visit aceyourretirement.org today.
Nice.
Thanks.
Dora knows better than anyone. The best place to explore is the forest.
She knows this monkey? Of course, she knows this monkey.
Experience nature.
Let's go.
Connect with family.
I love you guys.
And find your own adventure in a forest or park near you.
Let's do this. Come on, Boots.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest or park near you.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham, bam, minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Hey, Kevin, you thinking about retirement?
I'd love to, but I'm pretty busy with all this.
Yeah. Hey, let's meet our retirement coach, Avo. A is for taking action.
Not anxiety?
No, Kevin, you're gonna be fine.
You sing?
Barely. V is for variety.
And you dance?
Sort of. Come on. O is for optimize your savings.
Let Avo lead the way.
Visit aceyourretirement.org today.
Nice.
Thanks.
Dora knows better than anyone. The best place to explore is the forest.
She knows this monkey? Of course, she knows this monkey.
Experience nature.
Let's go.
Connect with family.
I love you guys.
And find your own adventure in a forest or park near you.
Let's do this. Come on, Boots.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest or park near you.
Hey, Kevin, you thinking about retirement?
I'd love to, but I'm pretty busy with all this.
Yeah. Hey, let's meet our retirement coach, Avo. A is for taking action.
Not anxiety?
No, Kevin, you're gonna be fine.
You sing?
Barely. V is for variety.
And you dance?
Sort of. Come on. O is for optimize your savings.
Let Avo lead the way.
Visit aceyourretirement.org today.
Nice.
Thanks.
Welcome back to the Eagle Sports Network as we get ready to start the second half of play. My name is Zachary Payne. Alongside me is my broadcast partner, Danny Henderson. Danny, I talked to Coach Talley during the halftime break. I asked him what his thoughts were with all the turnovers. He said they were a little careless at times, but he said most of it was just nerves. He said with a big crowd like this, there's really not much you can do that is known to happen.
Yeah, and again, York has already played 4 games that count. This is only the second exhibition that the Eagles have played, so they're just trying to figure out who's doing what on each end of the court.
I also asked him what his thoughts were on the overall first half of play. He said he liked the way they were playing. They liked the fact that they kept fighting and only came away with being down by just 2 points. As Marcus Blackwell ties the game up now with 19:23 left here in this second half.
And those turnovers, there were 12 of them in the first half, but they resulted in 15 points for York.
This being Coach Talley's first game, it'd be nice for him to come away with the win. And it would be nice for Coach Dan Hayes to come away with the win on his first game back.
Yeah, as special assistant, yeah. But, you know, it's a win-win situation for Coach Talley and Coach Hayes.
As on the other end, no good on the rebounded by Will. Passes it out to Aubrey Johnson. Now to Reyes Valdez. At the top of the arc, Reyes Valdez has 9 points already for OC. Gets a screen from Palmer. Drives in, passes it back out to Palmer. Palmer drives in a little bit. Nice spin move there. Lays it up on the left side. Gets it to fall.
And that's almost the exact same way that the game began, with Palmer going in from the left side. Nice spin move to get the basket.
As number 11, Ewald has it. Now to Barry. Barry works against Valdez, who avoids a screen. Gives it to Tolbert. Tolbert at the top of the arc. Gives it to number 4, Lanier. Back to Barry. 9 seconds left on the shot clock. Drives in. Steps back out. Passes it out. From the right corners, Ewald, no good. Rebounded by number 24, but that will be a shot clock violation, and it will be Oklahoma Christian basketball.
Good defense by the Eagles, forcing the turnover and not giving them a good shot.
OC taking a little bit of advantage now as York is not putting on the full court press anymore.
And that's what gave them a fit in the first half.
As Palmer now gives it to Blackwell. Blackwell drives in, passes it back out to Parma at the top of the arc. Now to Will Linhart. Now to Blackwell. Blackwell with the pull-up jumper. Gets that to go. Nothing but net.
4 straight points for Blackwell here at the beginning of the second half.
He now has 9 points for OC. Now to Ewald, who wants to put up a shot instead. Hesitates. Gives it to Lanier, who's at the left wing. Lanier has space, drives in, lays it up on the right side, and gets back within 2. Reyes Valdez now. Really hasn't sat much here in this game, as he has played almost 17 minutes here of the first half. And now Blackwell continuing where he left off, getting to the free throw line.
Nice spin move there by Blackwell. He took a couple of arms, it looks like, up around the head and in the face, but he maintained his poise and went in for the shot and is fouled, and now he's at the free throw line.
The foul was on number 4, Lanier, for the Panthers. That is his first foul as Blackwell makes the first attempt at the free throw line. Barry will now check out of the ball game for number 1, Barnes.
Blackwell now has 10 points in the game.
Number 23, Williams, checks out for Lewis. Lewis was doing very well in the game earlier before he had 2 fouls and had to sub out. Blackwell makes the second attempt. Now it's York ball. Drive in, Ewald drives in, and they're going to say a foul on the floor before the shot, and it's going to be on Palmer. And that is his first foul for Oklahoma Christian. So with that, York will inbound the ball as Lewis gets it at the top of the arc. Now to Lanier. Lanier drives in, tries to pass it out. Nice steal by Blackwell. Nice bounce pass up to Aubrey Johnson. 4-3. No good as he rushed it a little bit. Rebounded by Lanier.
But he had a good open shot.
Now to Tolbert for 3. He makes that. Just like that, it's a 1-point game.
Cannot let him get hot. He's the one that really pulled him out in front in the first half.
As Reyes Valdez at the top of the arc, he can shoot. Gives it to Blackwell. Now to Johnson. Johnson has all time of day to shoot. Does not make the shot, though. Now to Blackwell for 3. And he counters. OC back up by 4. Blackwell now has 13 here in this game.
8 of those coming here in the second half.
As York's number 1, Barnes, has the ball. Nice bounce pass to Lanier. That was a good look from Barnes to Lanier for the easy basket.
Lanier now with 9 points for the Panthers.
Nice spin move by Reyes Valdez. Moves over to the right wing. Gives it to Blackwell. Back to Valdez. Nice shimmy there. Drives in along the right side. And they're going to say a foul before the shot on Lewis. That is going to be Lewis's 3rd foul here now.
And he's the first Panther to get it off of that 2-foul count, as there were 6 of them that came up with 2 fouls each in the first half for the York Panthers.
And with that, they call media timeout, so we will step away and be right back right after this.
I thought he'd do that.
Congratulations to Scott Philbin taking over the direction of
Welcome back to the Eagle Sports Network. Oklahoma Christian leads by 2 with 15-28. Have the ball down at their own end as Blackwell will get ready to inbound the ball.
Blackwell gives it to Johnson. Pass down to Blackwell, and the ball is stolen away by Tolbert. Tolbert drives in, brings it back out. Nice pass down low and stolen away again, but by Will Linhart. As Will has it at the top of the arc, dumps it off to Blackwell. Back down to Linhart, back out to Johnson for three in the corner. No good, as he's been 0 for 3 in his last 3 attempts from behind the arc in this half. As Tolbert puts up a shot, no good, deflected, and is deflected again and goes in. That looked like it was deflected by Aubrey Johnson there.
Lewis comes up with the tip in. He's got 7 points in the game.
As we are all knotted up at 47 apiece. Blackwell to Johnson. Johnson with the bounce pass down to Palmer. Palmer along the right side. Puts up the floater with the left hand. And regains the lead for OC.
Palmer now at 13 points in the game. Just a nice move underneath with the left-handed shot.
As Lewis drives in. Nice behind the back dribble. Pulls up from behind the arc. No good. Rebounded by Will. Nice pass up to Reyes Valdez. To a wide open Johnson in the corner. Too strong. Rebounded by Lewis.
Johnson has had some good looks here in the second half, just missing either slightly long or short.
Tolbert for a long three now. No good. Rebounded by Palmer. Reyes Valdez now has it and slows it down for both sides. 13:45 left here in this ball game. As there's a player down who is Hoskins for York falls. Coach did not like that. Now to Blackwell. Bounce pass to Linhart. Tie up. And they're going to say a foul on Tolbert.
Well, if this was football, that would have been an ideal downfield block. I mean, the defender was just throwing his hip into him and not letting him make any progress toward the basket.
As Coach Talley is going to bring Aubrey Johnson to the bench and bring in another shooter for Oklahoma Christian. It looks like it is Anthony Johnson. Anthony Johnson now has it. He has no points so far in this game. Now to Palmer. To Blackwell. Back to Palmer. Bounce pass to Johnson. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. 8. Drives in from the top of the arc. Finds a lane. Lays it up on a nice finger roll on the right side of the glass. And OC up by 4.
Oh, my goodness. What a beautiful play. Good shot by Anthony Johnson. Driving in from the left and going around with the...
Lanier. Now, sorry to cut you off, but Lanier lays it up, and there's... The coach wanted a foul, and there's now a foul on York. And it is going to be on number 5, Hoskin, his second foul of the game. That is the team's 4th foul already in this half.
York certainly is aggressive every time that they've been on defense, getting really close to the Eagle offensive player, and they're not going to let up. They're just going to stick to them as much as they can.
As Blackwell drives in, passes it out, gives it to Johnson. Now to Palmer. To Blackwell at the left wing, drives in along the left side, puts up the shot, fouled, does not get the lucky bounce. But Blackwell having a heyday going to the free throw line today, as he will go yet again for 2 more.
So that's the 5th foul on Hoskin. Now 2 players had 3 fouls for York, Hoskin and Lewis.
As Marcus Blackwell, already at the free throw line tonight, is 7 of 8. Now 8 of 9. So Oklahoma Christian increases it up to a 5-point lead. Blackwell has 14 points for Oklahoma Christian. Right behind him is Palmer at 13. And Blackwell makes both, shooting 90% from the charity stripe. Now to Barry. Barry to Lanier. Lanier drives in, passes it out to Barry. Barry wants to put up a 3 instead, drives in. Another no-look pass to number 23, Williams, who lays it up and in.
That's Williams' first bucket of the game.
Full court press yet again for York as Anthony Johnson brings it across. Anthony Johnson needs to be a little careful. Looks like he's starting to use that arm to push off a little bit. As now Palmer has it, drives in on the left side. Nice pivot step, no good. Tipped out by Will, back to Palmer for a 2. No good on the jumper.
And it was a good shot, just could not get it to fall.
As Lanier now to Barry, who has it at the top of the arc. Connor Johnson in for OC. Guards Barry, no good on the shot. Rebounded by Will Linhard. Now to Anthony Johnson. Back to Will. 2 OC players fight for the ball. Palmer has the ball though, gives it to Connor Johnson. Back to Anthony Johnson now. Anthony Johnson drives in, 8 seconds on the shot clock. Wants to find a lane, does not get it, does a step back, puts up the 3 and gets it to go!
He just needed to get a better side of the basket, that's all.
What a shot.
Beautiful shot.
As Barry now has it at the top of the arc. Passes it to Lanier. Lanier drives in, lays it up on the right side. No good, rebounded by Will. Will Linhard brings it up the floor. Nice lob to Palmer. And they're going to say a foul on, it looks like, York.
I think it's going to go against Williams, and if that's the case, it's number 3. That is it.
And with that, it looks like we're going to have a media timeout. So when we come back, we'll resume action as Oklahoma Christian leads by 7. Check that there is actually a technical foul, and it looks like it's going to be on Williams, it looks like. We're waiting to hear the word by the ref. It's over at the timekeeper desk right now. And it looks like it's going to be a technical foul on Williams for saying something vulgar out on the floor.
You know, these officials, I think, granted, they've got to keep it tight. They may have just a little bit of leniency, but there are some things you just don't say.
All right, we'll be right back right after this.
Better than anyone. The best place to explore is the forest.
Boots! She knows this monkey? Of course, she knows this monkey.
Experience nature.
Let's go.
Connect with family.
I love you guys.
And find your own adventure in a forest or park near you.
Let's do this. Come on, Boots.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest or park near you.
Welcome back to the Eagle Sports Network. Oklahoma Christian leads by 7 at the moment. There is a technical foul, and Connor Johnson's going to be taking the free throw for OC, and Oklahoma Christian will have the ball. As Connor Johnson makes the attempt at the free throw line, and we'll have one more for OC. This Connor Johnson's second attempt, also good. Oklahoma Christian now has a 9-point lead again. They had one in the first half, lost that lead, went down by 10, got back up. And here we are up by 9 with 10:52 left and the basketball. Connor Johnson, nice bounce pass to Palmer. Back out to Walter, who puts up the 3, no good, rebounded by Barry. Barry now at the top of the arc, slows it down for York. Passes it to number 22, Fox. Puts up the shot, no good. Rebounded by Anthony Johnson. Anthony Johnson brings it up the floor. Nice run here for Oklahoma Christian since the 17-minute mark. Now to Walters. Anthony Johnson down, deflected, stolen away by Ewald. Wants to pass it up, does not. Instead does nice carrying steps there. And there's a foul on Oklahoma Christian.
Good call, Zach. Same thing. I think he's moving a little bit more than he should.
As the foul is on number 1, Anthony Johnson, his first foul of the ball game for Oklahoma Christian.
Now here's an interesting fact, Zach. So far in this game, there are 4 Eagles that have fouls. They all have 1 each. Nobody is over 1.
As he makes the first attempt from the free throw line, brings it back to an 8-point game. As Will Linhard will now check out of the game, and Will already doing very well on the boards, already has 10 rebounds here in this game. As the second attempt for Ewald is good, and Oklahoma Christian leads by just 7. Full court press a little bit again. Instead, now they back off. Anthony Johnson at the top of the arc. Moves over to the right wing, gets a little bit of a screen from number 44, Staten, for Oklahoma Christian. Now to Connor Johnson. Johnson back out to Palmer. Now to Staten. To Walters. Walters drives over. 9 seconds on the shot clock. Walters pulls up with a hand in his face. Still makes the shot. Oklahoma Christian has their largest lead of the evening, which is 10.
Good spot out by DJ Walter. Good to see him sink that three-pointer.
As Ewald now has it, tries to counter, give it to Fox now. Fox hands it to Lanier. Lanier works against Anthony Johnson, gets a screen from number 1 Barnes, excuse me. And Ewald drives in, lays it up, gets the bucket, and one. Excuse me, does not, yeah, he does get the bucket.
It's Lanier that came up with the bucket, so he'll go to the free throw line, try to convert the old-fashioned three-point play.
So far, York really has not been at the free throw line, as that is their second free throw attempt here in this game. As Anthony Johnson now leads the ball up the floor for Oklahoma Christian, up by 7, 9:15 left. Johnson loses control of the ball yet again, gives it down to Staten though. Now to Walters. Walters gives it to Palmer along the left side. Drives in, nice spin move up to the center part, lays it up. No good on the bucket, but will go to the free throw line as the foul is on number 22, Eric Fox. And that is his third.
So now York is dealing with potential foul trouble. 4 of their players have 3 at this point.
And with that foul, Oklahoma Christian is now in the bonus with exactly 9 minutes left. So Oklahoma Christian has the favoritism right now of having time and fouls on their side.
Well, it's noticeable what the game is for Palmer. He likes to get down in the blocks underneath the basket, and take the pass and do some spin moves and try to get the defender turned around so he can have a good shot at the basket. I like the way he moves.
As Palmer makes the first free throw attempt at the free throw line, now has 14 for Oklahoma Christian. And he is second right behind Blackwell. And if he makes this, him and Blackwell are tied for the most points in the game for OC. And he does not. As Barnes now gives it to Barry. Barry at the top of the arc. Moves over to the right wing, passes it down low, or into the right corner to Tolbert. Tolbert back out to Ewald. Ewald pump fakes. Starts to drive in, step back, 3. And he drains that. What a shot.
He's a good shooter. You can just tell by the way he moves, he's got a good shot.
And with that 3, it kind of has sucked the crowd out of the game a little bit for Oklahoma Christian. Down to Staten. Staten with a nice pass to Palmer, who lays it up and in.
Nobody was there. A good look and a good assist by Staten to get the ball to Palmer.
Now to Ewald. Ewald wants to do the same thing. Instead, passes it. Now to Barry at the left wing. Resets the play for York. Gets a screen from Barnes. Drives in. Lays it up off the right side with a teardrop. And now, just a 5-point game with 7:53 left.
Barry with 13 points in the game. That's his first bucket here in the second half.
It's Anthony Johnson. loses control of the ball and will go out of bounds. Another turnover.
And that's what we're talking about, ball control. We got to make sure that when you get the ball on offense, you take care of it.
As it looks like we have a timeout, and it looks like it's going to be from Coach Talley. It looks like it's a 30 seconds, so we're going to stay right here. So far, Danny, Oklahoma Christian been great in the second half. They're starting to slow it down now, though, and it's not going in their favor.
And they seem to be more methodical. They're trying to get into a half-court offense after they come up with a defensive turnover or rebound, and then just set up in their offense. But they're getting some good looks. They're very patient as far as moving the ball around, finding the open guy and getting the ball to him quickly. And, looking at somebody like Johnson getting some good open looks, and Aubrey just not getting them to fall, but you don't want him to not stop shooting because those are the shots you want him to take. And good to see DJ get untracked a little bit. And also Reyes Valdez, like the way he plays, as well as Palmer. His style is going to be really helpful for the Eagles this entire season.
Well, Palmer already picking up where he left off in the NAIA league, as he already has a double-double here in this game, and he had 9 in the NAIA all last year.
Well, you can tell he's a special type of player, and he's using his talents right now here in this game against York, which, as a reminder, this is an exhibition game because of Division II rules, but the next one then will be an exhibition game Tuesday night down in Denton against the University of North Texas.
As York gets ready to inbound the ball with 7:43 left. Number 3, Barry has it, trying to bring them back within the one-possession game of Oklahoma Christian. Gives it to Lewis. Lewis passes it down to Barnes. Barnes, nice move against Linhard, and lays it up and in, and is now back to a one-possession game and almost a turnover. And it will be OC basketball. OC kind of starting to get a little sloppy with the ball again.
Barnes is more of a defender than a shooter. He's only scored 4 points tonight, but he had a good shot and a good move underneath to come away with that basket.
As Blackwell brings it across the half-court line for Oklahoma Christian. Moves over, gets a screen from Linhard. Now to Reyes Valdez. And they're going to say a foul on Oklahoma Christian's Palmer for an illegal screen. And that is going to be his second foul of the game.
They've got a few to give.
The crowd has been sucked out of this game now, as York is back within one possession. Nice pass down into Barnes. Back out to Lewis. Lewis air balls, no good, but rebounded by Ewald. Ewald lays it up and is blocked by Will Linhard.
Will is such a force underneath the basket, and he really doesn't have to jump much. He's got those long arms and tall frame, and the shooters always have to make an adjustment, especially underneath the basket.
The refs are having a discussion now.
I think they want to take a look at it here on the TV monitor.
And it looks like they're going to see who touched the ball last. Oh, they're going to check to see what the shot clock is actually supposed to be set at. So far, Oklahoma Christian started off very hot in the first half.
Yes.
Then played a little bit sloppy, having 13 turnovers in the first half.
Right.
But only trailed by just 2.
Right.
Then the start of the second half, Oklahoma Christian went on a big roll from the 17-minute all the way to about the 9-minute mark, giving them about a 10-point lead. Then they've lost that lead and is now just lead by 3.
And the challenge, I think, for the Eagles is to get that momentum, get that consistent style of play, and do the best they can to get that open shot. But certainly take care of the ball. You can't give up the ball 17, 19 times and with your opponent making good on those turnovers, because at this point, at the last time out, there have been 15 turnovers by the Eagles, and there have been 15 points scored by York. So take care of it. Don't give your opponent any extra opportunities that they otherwise would receive. So I think they just need to be a little bit sharper on their passing. But the effort, I really am impressed by the effort that they're giving on both ends of the court.
So it looks like they are going to change the shot clock. in Oklahoma Christian's favor, lowering it by 1 second to 16 from 17. York will inbound the ball. Lobbed it all the way to Barry. Barry catches it, gives it to Ewald. 13 seconds left. Now to Lewis. Lewis with a quick pass to Barry in the right corner. No good. Rebounded by Anthony Johnson, who then loses control of it. Scramble on the floor to Palmer. Now to Reyes. Valdez with the lob. Deflected. Nice swat there by York. And then they're going to say out of bounds. And it's going to be last touched by Oklahoma Christian. Are they saying a foul?
They held up the trailing official. Looked like he was indicating a foul against Johnson, Anthony Johnson.
So it will be York basketball. As Barry now gives it to Lewis. Lewis at the left wing, starts to drive up, back up to the top of the arc. Works against Aubrey Johnson. Johnson avoids the screen, keeps his distance, almost stolen away by Oklahoma Christian. Now Ewald has it. Drives along the left side, lays it up. No good, no, doesn't even touch the rim. Rebounded, though, by Will Linhard. Reyes Valdez gives it to Will, almost a pick. Now to Reyes Valdez for three. No good. Rebounded by Barnes. 5:45 left. Anyone's game. Lewis. Over to Barry. Barry at the top of the arc starts to drive in, passes it back out to the left corner. Tolbert. Tolbert for three. No good. Rebounded by Palmer. Now to Reyes Valdez. Slows it down. Back to Palmer. Fakes the pass. Hands it off to Aubrey Johnson. Aubrey Johnson with the pull-up from the free throw line. Good!
He's got such a smooth shot. It's fun to watch.
Aubrey Johnson now has 8 on the evening for Oklahoma Christian. Gets it back up to a 2-possession game. Back out to Barnes. Barnes for three. No good. Rebounded by Will Linhard.
And that last basket by Johnson, that's his first points here in the second half.
As Reyes Valdez has the ball at the top of the arc. 4:45 left. Works against Barry. Gets a screen from Linhard. Drives in. Loses control of the ball. But they are going to say a foul on Barry. And that is Barry's third foul, it looks like.
That is correct. So now there are 4 players, correct, that 5 players for York that have 3 fouls on them. And Barry, he's the one that really got them going in the first half. He had 11 points in the first half. Thankfully, the defense for OC has been able to keep him down to just 2 here in the second half.
So that is going to leave it up to free throws, but we are going to have a media timeout with 4:35 remaining. Oklahoma Christian leads by 5. We'll be right back with more right after this.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average 4-legged homie, and then wham, bam, minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
Well, he hit one in the first half, but he hit all these other 2s. He's got a good shot.
Hopefully it doesn't go into overtime.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Welcome back to the Eagles Nest. Oklahoma Christian just before the break got a foul. They are in the bonus, so DJ Walter, or Reyes Valdez looks like is going to go to the free throw line to shoot 1-1 for Oklahoma Christian. Reyes Valdez now has 10 points for Oklahoma Christian.
And before that first attempt on the free throw, he was 3 of 4. Now he is 4 of 5 tonight in the game.
as Oklahoma Christian now has 3 players in the double digits of points. Valdez makes the second attempt as well. OC up by 7. Lanier at the top of the arc. Gives it to Barnes, now to Barry. Barry drives in, passes it back out. Now Barnes drives in, puts up the floater. Does not get the lucky bounce, gets his own rebound, hit, gets the layup. His second chance opportunity there. Makes it a 5-point game again.
He had good position underneath and was just able to get his fingers on the ball and tip it back off the glass for the bucket.
As there is now a reach-in foul on Tolbert. And that is going to send Anthony Johnson to the free throw line.
And Tolbert doesn't think he committed the foul. And the way he keeps talking, that official may tee him up if he's not careful. He's just waiting. He says one more word.
As the ref is still talking with Tolbert as Anthony Johnson misses the first free throw attempt. And it looks like that heated conversation is now settled down.
Anthony Johnson, 5 points here in the second half, 1 3-pointer.
So Anthony Johnson misses the second attempt as well. Important free throws for Oklahoma Christian, and he misses both.
That's what will win you ball games.
As Lanier has it at the right wing, starts to drive down, instead passes it out. Now Barry has it for 3 from behind the left wing, and he gets that to go. Back within a 2-point game, with 3:40 left. This game is far from over.
They cannot let Barry light it up, and he's already scored 5 straight points.
As Anthony Johnson picks up his dribble, gives it to Walters. York has a lot of prep in their step now on defense. And it looks like there's a foul now on York. And it's going to be on, it's actually going to be on Oklahoma Christian's number 5, Palmer, who has 3 now. And it looks like Coach Talley calls a timeout, which is going to be a 30-second, so we're going to stay right here.
Well, it gets down, Zach, now at this point, you're under 4 minutes. Every offensive possession, you've got to make sure that you take care of the ball. I know that sounds like something that's a repeated refrain, but it's true. And right now, the key for York, they're going to try to give them as much pressure as possible, interrupt all the passing lanes that they can in order to get those turnovers. And it looks like they kind of have that strategy going pretty well for them. And Barry's reeling off 5 straight points has put them within 2 here with 3:19 to go in the game.
Oklahoma Christian has kind of settled it down a little too much now. They got really relaxed, letting York get back in this game after being up by 12 at one point.
York is hitting 35% from the 3-point line. They are 8 of 23 overall. They're shooting 43%, while Oklahoma Christian is shooting almost 49%, 20 of 41 from the floor, 8 of 17 from behind the arc.
The big thing now, though, is Oklahoma Christian. They've been to the free throw line a lot in this game. They have 20 points out of their 68 from the line.
27 attempts. They've hit 20 of them, 74%, but this is at the point of the game. You got to step it up and make them all.
As Oklahoma Christian tried to get a quick steal, Tolbert with the jumper, no good. Rebounded by Will Linhart on the fast break, 2-on-1. Valdez lays it up, gets it to go on the left side.
Oh my goodness, what a scoop. He was able to get around the arms of the defender, kiss it off the glass.
As Williams now has it now to Barry. Barry at the top of the arc, pulls up for 3, it is blocked by Will. Palmer now has it.
Linhart denying the shot.
Blackwell now controls it, gives it to Reyes Valdez. Oklahoma Christian could possibly put this game a little bit on ice as if they make a bucket here. To Will, 13 seconds on the shot clock, gives it to Reyes Valdez. Drives in, ball is deflected out of his hand, will go out of bounds. 8 seconds will be left on the shot clock for Oklahoma Christian.
For the Eagles on the floor at the moment, 3 of the players have double figures in points scored. So you've got your scorers there right now, and that's what you need with 2:26 to go in the game.
Reyes Valdez inbounds the ball to Anthony Johnson. Johnson, 6 seconds. Needs to put up a shot. Puts one up from behind the arc. Looked like there could have been a foul there, but there was not one called. Rebounded by Lanier. 4-point game, 2 minutes and 10 seconds left. Anyone's ball game here as Tolbert has it at the top of the arc. Now gives it to Barnes, excuse me. Now to Lewis. Lewis, pull-up jumper. Looks like that was deflected a little bit by Will Linhart. Rebounded. 4 seconds on the shot clock. He does not know about needing to get it up. Quick shot off, no good, does not hit the rim. Shot clock violation.
Great defense by Oklahoma Christian to deny the shot, getting into the passing lane so that they had to go back out each time they tried to go inside. And so it's a turnover to the Eagles, and like you said earlier, a good opportunity to milk the clock all they can for each possession.
Bad mental awareness there by Ewald, who got the rebound, did not know there was only 4 seconds left on the shot clock. Now to Will. To Reyes Valdez at the right wing. Pass back down to Will Linhart. Drives in, passes it out. Wide open Palmer for 3. No good. Rebounded by Lewis. Minute 20 left. 4-point game. Lewis, nice bounce pass. Stolen away by Palmer. He will hold on to it, giving it to Anthony Johnson to milk some of the clock.
Now they're at a point that they're going to have to make York come out and foul them and send them to the free throw line.
20 seconds left on the shot clock. We are now with 1 minute remaining here in this game. Reyes Valdez holds on, starts to drive in, loses control of it, something OC did not need. Lanier has it, drives in along the right side, lays it up, and it looks like a blocking foul on Blackwell.
They always called that against the defense. It looked to me like he was set. That's his first foul. It looked like Blackwell was set firmly, but the offensive player rolled over him. And going to the free throw line for York is going to be Lanier.
The big question on that, though, was his feet inside? Did he have at least a foot inside the circle?
Yep, good point.
48.9 seconds left.
Lanier's only had one opportunity at the free throw line, and he made it.
As that puts York now in the bonus.
They are 4-4 from the line, and most of those shots coming here in the second half.
The crowd letting him hear it as he puts up the first free throw attempt, and his shot is no good. Oklahoma Christian still leads by 4.
And that is their first miss here in the game from the free throw line.
Crowd getting loud again to try to get in Lanier's head. His shot is up. No good. Rebounded by Ewald, though. His second attempt is good. 2-point game, 47 seconds left. As Palmer now has it, they cannot force a turnover here. Now to give it to Johnson. Johnson's got to give it over the line. Deflected, out of bounds.
Palmer was lucky because he almost got trapped over on the far corner there by 2 defenders for York, and he was able to get a ball away from Anthony and to keep the ball from being taken away. Then they're able to get it across the timeline and have it knocked away.
And we now have a 30-second timeout called by Coach Talley. We are going to stay here because it's only a 30-second timeout. 40 seconds left, 2-point game. Danny, what would you do in this game, or at this point, if you were Coach Talley? What would you be telling
I'm
them?
going to put it into my shooter's hands, especially one that's one of the best ball handlers on the court. That could be Anthony Johnson. It could be Aubrey Johnson or Marcus Blackwell. I think if Palmer, Johnson, or Blackwell gets the pass, they should handle the ball. Will just needs to be near the basket and move the ball around as much as they can. Look for the open shot because York's going to have to come out and defend them. They're going to try to knock the ball away.
If I was Will and I was playing down at the basket, I got to make sure I'm not in there for the 3-second violation.
You've got to be concerned about that.
As Blackwell will inbound it in front of the fans on their side of the court. Gives it to Aubrey Johnson. 20 seconds on the shot clock, about 14 seconds difference between the game clock and shot clock. Aubrey Johnson gives it to Blackwell. They're taking their time, letting that clock milk. As Blackwell looks like he almost traveled there, gets the lucky bounce, and OC up by 4.
Nice move, nice shot, and got the lucky bounce just like you said.
And Barry down at the other end with a quick floater to get it back within 2.
Boy, whatever the result of this game, I tip my hat to Barry. He is just someone you've got to be careful. And coming back to his home state of Oklahoma, I know he's wanting to make a good showing here, the 5'11 junior guard. And he's done his own part for York to keep them in the game.
2-point game with 17 seconds. You've got to think York is going to be instantly fouling here on the inbound.
Barry now has 18 points in the game. But you're absolutely right. That's the only way. They've got to get the ball back. They're going to put the pressure on as well and make OC get it up the court and hopefully create a turnover and make a quick transition, quick bucket to either tie or take the lead.
As the players take the floor one more time. Coach Talley and the Eagles still have 3 timeouts left, so that's in their favor. If they do not like what they see, they could call a quick timeout and regroup. York down to 1.
That's one of the benefits of having someone like Coach Dan Hayes, is that if he sees something he doesn't like, Coach is going to say, hey, Kendra, you might want to think about taking a timeout right here. Let's readjust, reassess.
As the full court presses on, Aubrey Johnson to inbound the ball for Oklahoma Christian. Nice bounce pass to Blackwell, who's been to the line a lot. Trying to put the trap on. Now to Reyes Valdez. Has to get it across. Does, and there is a foul. And Reyes Valdez would go to the free throw line.
Ewell didn't have any choice but to throw his forearm and knock Reyes Valdez out of bounds and the foul to send him to the free throw line. So far in the game, Reyes Valdez is 5 of 6.
2 big free throws here for Valdez. Must make both to clinch this one for OC. Reyes Valdez misses the first one and leaves the door open for York.
OC's got to be careful regardless of the outcome of this free throw by Reyes Valdez. They've got to make sure they don't foul and just get good position defensively and deny any open shot.
As Reyes Valdez makes the second one off of a nice bounce. And it looks like they are going to get a foul.
I'm surprised that Barry's not called for hooking.
But that also helps Oklahoma Christian out because OC up by 3. That's at least going to give York 2 chances at the line. Well, it's a 1-and-1 opportunity. They have to make both. What a game this has turned out to be for Oklahoma Christian, and the refs are coming over to take a look at the play. I'm not sure if they're just looking at the game clock or if they want to see if it is a hooking call.
Boy, it looked to me that he was trying to get around the defender, the OC defender, and in order to do so, he had to get his left elbow, his arm around.
Well, let's take a look at the replay here on the previous play.
Of course, OC administering the full court press and good defense by, I think Palmer was the defender. But as Barry was coming up, he was having to try to get up the court quickly on the far side. And that's when I thought I saw him hook around Palmer.
As you can see right here on the inbound, that's kind of hard to tell from a distance, but it did look like a hook there because Anthony Johnson had his hands up in the air. That should be a good indication that that was a hook. So they still are going to keep the clock. Looks like they were just checking for the shot clock. So with that being said, Barry is going to go to the line to try to shoot or to make 2 free throws to bring it back within a 1-point game.
And these are his first free throw attempts in the game tonight.
Oklahoma Christian fans making it known that they are going to get into his head. Already worked against Ewell. Barry's first attempt at the line is good. Oklahoma Christian up by just 2. Look for Coach Talley to call a timeout after this bucket. As Barry's second attempt at the free throw line, also good. Coach Talley not calling a timeout. Inbound, almost stolen away. Blackwell, 6 seconds. Wrap up, and Blackwell's going to go to the free throw line. He's been there a lot in this game. Been there 10 times, made 9 of those free throws so far, shooting 90% from the line.
Blackwell having a great game tonight, points-wise. 15 so far, and like you said, Zach, most of those coming from the free throw line.
Either way, if it's going to be a one-possession game after both these free throws from Blackwell. So York will have a chance to either win the game or a tie. As Blackwell misses the first attempt and leaves the door open for a potential game winner for York.
And Blackwell had scored 4 straight free throws here in the second half. That was his first miss.
As Blackwell's second attempt from the line is good. 2-point game. Here we go, 3 seconds, lobbed up to Colbert. Misses on the 3-point attempt, and Oklahoma Christian is going to walk away with the 2-point victory over York College. What a game, what a win for Coach Talley with it being his first one. And when we come back, we'll have Elijah Johnson in the studio with the post-game show.
And York had a good open shot. It was just a little bit too long, but they got what they wanted. They got the look they wanted, but it just was too long from the far side of the court. But what an effort. What a great display of athleticism by York in this game today.
Oklahoma Christian wins 74-72. We'll be right back with Elijah Johnson in the studio right after this.
Welcome back to the Eagles Nest. My name's Zach Payne. Alongside me is with Coach Kendra Talley. Coach, great first win for you of your collegiate coaching career.
Yeah. It was. I mean, at the end of the day, we won. And York, got to give a lot of credit to them. They did exactly what I expected them to do. Came in here, and they just played hard, toughed it out. You know, they just toughed it out the whole time. And they made our guys play a little bit, you know. But it was just good for us to get that first game under our belt, and just looking forward to next week. Looking forward to next week.
You had a lot of scorers here in this game. You had Palmer, Blackwell, and Reyes Valdez all had double digits. Mm-hmm. Was the goal to give your hot shooters the ball the entire game?
No, I just told them to play together. That's all you can ask for. We had certain things that we thought we were better at, and so you just got to go to your secondary options. You know, if something don't work, you just got to figure something else out, and that's what we did.
And you had Will doing what Will does best, 13 rebounds, double digits again. How is his presence down inside the paint?
It's tough to take him out. I mean, Will kept us alive. So many extra possessions in which we needed. We started off the game turning the ball over, and now all our missed shots, Will was tipping them out. He was getting rebounds, and he gave us an extra chance at those possessions. So ended up working out pretty well.
Well, Coach, thanks for the amazing game here tonight. Thanks for coming for the interview. Congratulations on the win, and we're going to send it back to Elijah Johnson in the studio. Elijah?
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach. Congrats.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham, bam, minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Welcome back, party people, and yes, it is time to party. Again, homecoming weekend, you've heard it all day long, but both our women's and men's teams defeated York. Our men's won 74-72, and unlike in the first half, our turnovers was cut down drastically. And then was able to tone down the offense, gain control of the game, and kept the threes and turnovers under control, which were probably the three biggest reasons we were losing in the first half. And guess what? We won. So, very simple. Like I said, the small TDs things can mean the biggest things in the basketball game. And just like in this basketball game, we did the small TDs things in the second half and came out with a W. Both our men's and women's teams are now 1-0 against the conference and the Lone Star. So I think they answered our questions on whether we would be able, with the women, be able to go on without Addie Clift, and with the men be able to be a consistent winners over the season, unlike last season. Right now, the answer is yes. We are able to pull out crunch time wins, come in clutch, make halftime adjustments, and do whatever it needs to be done to win. And that's just really great. It gives us hope for a good season this year, and maybe we can make a deep, deep run. Now, that is really all I have for this post-game show. I'm Elijah Johnson. This is OC Eagle Media Basketball, and we will see you later on in the season